If you thought evil was parading around in the streets before, well, just wait until you see what I got for you this time. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, the Wretched Watchman, and I'm bringing you a little bit of news of pretty much what's going on with the embracing of all things satanic, evil, and pagan of what's going on. So, unless you've been living under a rock and or just have just chosen to block out anything going on with society, you should be quite familiar that Satan is pretty much just walking the catwalk. He's out there strutting his stuff. He doesn't need to hide anymore because people are embracing him. People are absolutely embracing him, whether it's through ignorance or absolutely knowing what's going on or the roots of these things. People are embracing evil. They're embracing darkness. They want all things satanic today. This is where, good becomes evil and evil becomes good type of thing. And we are watching it happen in real time. And when we see this, what we see what's going on with the movies and the games and the music and we see the things going on around there. But we're starting to see an uptick of what's going on when it comes to concerts and other shows, just like plays and award ceremonies and these types of things, where we're seeing full-on satanic rituals. We're seeing witchcraft. We're seeing false gods and deities being put on display, being worshipped. We're seeing things like what happened in Israel went back on the October attacks. People don't realize what was going on. There was a New Age trance festival that is built around using drugs, trance music, and witchcraft in order to become demon possessed, to feel spiritual deities come into people. This was actually going on, and people don't realize that when you create an antenna, an environment that is attracting evil, then it should be no surprise that evil things will follow. And we know, of course, what happened with the Hamas attack. Evil things did indeed follow after that whole trance festival that was going on back then. And so this is why I warn about things that we have within our houses. We need to get rid of symbolism and trinkets and stuff like this. And it's hard for people because they don't think that it actually has the ability to draw in evil spirits and demons and darkness and whatnot. Or some people want to hang on to it for sentimental reasons. Oh, well, this is something that's been passed down through the family. I just can't get rid of it because of the sentimental value. But the fact is it's still something that we shouldn't have around us. Anybody in particular, but if you're a Christian, you surely shouldn't have it around your house either. And so I talk about this, things like yoga and the Enneagram and whatnot. These are witchcraft and satanic practices that are built to draw in dark spirits and demons and whatnot. We should not be partaking in these things. But when we get to the large scale things, if we head over to France, of all places, they have been actively putting on a show for the past few months that has everything to do with worshiping deities, false deities, and darkness and satanic and evil things. And so let's go ahead and check out what's going on. It's called The Guardian of the Temple, the Gate of Darkness. As we can see, this is already pretty upfront with what's going on. And I'm going to do my best. There's a lot of French words. I don't speak Hungarian. And this is also translated, so it might be weird, but I think you'll get the gist. It says, after the first opulite of the urban opera, The Guardian of the Temple, in 2018, the streets of Toulouse will again be the theater of a great street show conceived by Campagne La Machine and organized by Toulouse Metropole in October 2024. I'm doing my best, guys. I don't speak this stuff. This is from Friday 25th to September 27th, October of 2024. The city center of Toulouse, whatever, will host an urban opera, The Guardian of the Temple, the Gate of Darkness, organized by the Metropole and conceived by Francois Delrez and Campagne La Machine. The monumental show follows the first section of The Guardian of the Temple, which had been held in Toulouse over 4 days in November of 2018. It's an entirely free event that will see the return of Asterion the Minotaur, Ariane the Great Spider, who will be joined by their journey by a new machine, Lilith, the Guardian des Ténèbres, or the guardian of darkness. Yes, Lilith. Now, if you've been hanging around my channel for any period of time, you know I often refer to Gnosticism, because everything that we see when it comes to pagan and the religions of the world that we see out there are rooted in Gnosticism. Why is that? Because Gnosticism is the world's first religion. It was literally formed in the Garden of Eden when Satan went to Eve and said, "Did God really say?" And he said that you will be like God if you eat of the fruit. This had to do with acquiring new knowledge and becoming gods ourselves, which is the root of Gnosticism. And so, and I've talked about, you take that and you expand that over to the Tower of Babel, and that's where the unholy pagan trinity came from. And when God scattered the languages and sent people across, or scrambled the languages and scattered the people across the world, they all took that false religion and the unholy pagan trinity with them. And so when you get into Gnosticism, Lilith, according to Gnostic lore, was actually Adam's first wife. Lucifer was sent down by Sophia in order to bring them knowledge and enlightenment, to break them out of the prison earth that the demiurge, or as we would know him, God Almighty, locked them in. And so he managed to, Lucifer was sent down and managed to enlighten and break Lilith, Adam's first wife, out of that prison. And so Lilith actually then went on to tempt Eve, which was Adam's second wife. And so when you look at a lot of Gnostic artwork from history, you'll notice that the serpent is often represented with the head and torso of a woman, which would represent Lilith. And so when we look at Lilith like this, we can see that they are clearly worshiping not only the pagan Gnostic belief, but they are worshiping Satan. Now, there's other lores out there that you can find to it, things where Lilith is the daughter of Satan and so on and so forth and whatnot. And in this case, she is represented as the guardian of darkness. And as they go on to say, she is the one that is the intercessor between Hades and Earth. And she goes out of Hades into Earth to go and seek the souls of the damned and whatnot. So there's other lore to it, but the main root Gnostic text has to do with Lilith being Adam's first wife and trying to tempt Eve. But either way, no matter how we look at this, this is the celebration of pagan and Satanism, for sure. You can get a close-up here of what she's looking like. She's got her horns with her upside-down cross earrings. She's got many markings and symbols on her body as well, which, again, I talked about symbolism when I was referring to this. It says, after 2 years of construction, we are proud to announce, I would not be proud of this at all, proud to announce the birth of La Guardian des Tenebres, the result of the ingenuity and technical skills of the company La Machine teams. Basically, it goes on to say, Lilith here, the robot, will take its place at Hellfest at the entrance of the Kingdom of Muscadet starting Thursday, June 27th. Join us, of course, the evening that happens. This is a guardian of the darkness. Lilith plays a key role in Opus 2 of the urban opera, The Guardian of the Temple, this October. Built this year by La Machine for the heavy metal music fest Hellfest in Clisson, where it resides. Lilith will travel to Toulouse in autumn. She will thus be joined by Asterion the Minotaur and Ariane La Grande the Spider, the protagonists of the previous opus of the urban opera, The Guardian of the Temple. And so, if you guys don't know anything about Hellfest, Hellfest is a yearly rock, heavy metal concert where they have all sorts of pagan practices, satanic rituals. The music that they put on, the bands that are there are just, they basically worship Satan and what's going on with that. They have, it's absolutely horrific. And so Lilith, of course, will be making an appearance, or already made an appearance, I should say, back in June. So we can see here, Hellfest, the Guardian was there, and they're basically just going over the play that's happening to Toulouse at the Hellfest website that we can see here. You can see the poster for it as well. Wonderful spider person with the Lilith there in the middle, the Minotaur, whole bunch of different symbolisms and just atrocious artwork that's going on. I mean, this is horrific, and it's being put on in the middle of the streets with people there to look in awe of what's going on. If you don't believe me, check out the trailer that they released. Oh man, it's said that up to, I believe I read it was up to roughly 1 million people attend these shows that parade through the streets, and you can see that there's the woman there that was just oh, so beautiful, just staring up at these things, and there's children present and kids that are attending this and whatnot. And the thing is most of these people have no idea what they're looking at. They're literally looking at Satan parading in the streets, and they're embracing it because it's just a cool spectacle. It's robots and a big show and a play and all this stuff being put on, and people don't realize the absolute darkness that is parading around their streets right now. When you see stuff like that going through your streets, you have to realize that those things are drawing in dark spirits with them. The symbols on their bodies and who they represent and whatnot, those things are pillars that are attracting darkness into the streets of France, all around those people that are there in attendance, all around the kids that are there in attendance. And this is something that's just becoming more and more prevalent, more and more active in our world, the embracing of these things. And it's not just the secular world. We're seeing the embracing of these dark things within the churches that are promoting yoga classes and practicing the Enneagram and going on retreats that involve meditation and mindfulness. And these churches have symbols in them without realizing what the symbols actually mean, and just, Latin phrases and whatnot that really have no root within Christianity, but over the years it's just been adopted and whatnot. These churches are actively embracing these things, and it's being put forth as, it's all good. There's nothing to worry about. And most of the time, even the pastors themselves that are allowing this into the church, they're ignorant of it, and they don't even want to learn about these things. And so we are seeing Satan just flowing through the streets. We see Satan flowing through the airwaves and the media. We see Satan flowing through the churches and the governments and the schools, and the world is actively embracing this darkness. And it's not just here in the United States, it's all over the world, as we can see here with what's going on in France. Just not too long ago, the Paris games took place as well. You go back to the UK games several years ago, they also had the same satanic displays. We look at all the award ceremonies, Christian award ceremonies and non-Christian award ceremonies that have just the embracing of alphabet agenda and Satan practices and witchcraft and rituals on stage and all this type of stuff. This stuff is happening everywhere. The darkness is coming into this world. So why am I talking about this? What's the point? You're just sitting there going, man, this is all doom and gloom, and you're just talking about all the evil and stuff like that. Because us as Christians, as prophecy watchers, we have to recognize these things. Yeah, we see, of course, what's going on in our own backyard, but we really have to really pay attention to what's going on globally as we continue to see the darkness pouring in. And it's not just the darkness that we always are attracted to, the lawlessness and the wars and the things going on like that, but we have to pay attention to stuff like this. Because this is the sneaky stuff that slides in because Christians aren't paying attention to these practices, the witchcraft, the pagan practices, the new age, this type of stuff. They don't pay attention to it. The church doesn't talk about it. And so we are very underprepared, and we don't have the defense against this stuff like we should, because we are not informed of what's going on. Now, this is obviously more of an obvious display. Any Christian worth their salt would be able to look at that and go, "That's not right." But it's the smaller stuff that's along with the ride, that goes along with the ride of this, that we have to be paying attention to. That is sneaking into our houses and our churches and our schools and everywhere else we go. We have to be aware of our enemy. We have to know the tactics and the symbology behind it. Now, you don't have to be, a historian of these pagan things, but having a good understanding of the roots helps us to identify these things as they come along. So I just thought I'd share this with you guys. Be encouraged. It's hard when you look at something like that at the face of evil to be encouraged, but we have to be encouraged because when we see the darkness overtaking the earth and we see people embracing it and we see good become evil and evil become good, we understand that we are in the last days and time is very short. Use that not only as hope and encouragement for soon we'll be out of here, but use it for fire to go out and witness and warn and share the gospel of Jesus Christ with as many people as you can. All right, guys, I'm Zach, the Wretched Watchman. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys right here. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Maranatha.